Hey guys, it's FishingThePNW. A couple of months ago I was very lucky and I was one of the weekly winners of a Wired to Fish giveaway, and I just so happened to win a free 3-month subscription to Lucky Tackle Box. I've already got everything out of here, so let's go ahead and dig into this box. Just like Mystery Tackle Box, you get a card that comes with a description of everything that's in the box. You get a Lucky Tackle Box sticker, and you also get this Big Bass magazine. So let's go ahead and dive into what we got here. Just gonna go in order from top to bottom. First up is a football jig from Jig Tonic. Here it is right here. The package doesn't say the weight on it, but judging by how small the head is, I would say that this is a 1/4 ounce jig. It also doesn't mention the color, but just by looking at it, it's a green pumpkin chartreuse. The green pumpkin strands have black flake, and the chartreuse strands have a golden black flake. It's a pretty cool looking jig. I'm not a fan of chartreuse, but this is subtle enough that I would still fish it. It's not over the top, fluorescent yellow. But I'd probably fish this in water with a little bit of stain. I probably wouldn't fish this in very clear water. And to try to offset the brightness of the chartreuse, I would most definitely use like a darker green pumpkin, maybe watermelon flake or watermelon red flake type of trailer, just to even out a bit of the brightness. The hook feels really sharp. The jig it's pretty stout, and it's got a nice weed guard on it. It's not too stiff, not too soft. I think this is a great looking little jig. And this retails for $5. Next up is the Bagley Balsa B. This is a shallow diving Squarebill. Package doesn't give the actual color name or how deep it dives. I didn't look it up. I'm sorry. You could probably find it up on Tackle Warehouse or somewhere on the internet. But it's a shallow diving Squarebill. I'm not too sure what I think about the color. I'm usually not a fan of the really unnatural bright colors, especially here in Washington State. But if you take a look at the bait, it's blue on top and it fades to chartreuse as it goes down. So there's a bit of green where it starts to fade. Got a white side with the red gill, and the bottom again is chartreuse. And I'm not sure how well you can tell here, but in the throat area it's orange on the outside and it's red on the inside. So this would probably do well in stained water, to moderately clear water. This just doesn't imitate any of the bait fish we have here, which is why I don't have too much confidence in it, and I just don't like bright colors. But again, this is a great bait. It's a silent Squarebill, but you will hear just a little bit of chatter, and that's just from the split rings and the hooks. So Balsa is very buoyant, so this is probably a fast floater. But again, that's a good looking Squarebill. I might fish it fast just to trigger a reaction strike from the bass. It's a cool looking color. I'm sure it does great in many parts of the country. I just don't have confidence in this color here in Washington. This retails for $8.99. Again, it's a Balsa crankbait, so it's Balsa is high quality wood, and that's usually why the Balsa baits cost a bit more. Okay, next up is the Skinny Bear Shad Swimbait, and I believe this is a 5-inch model. I'm glad that I got it in a rainbow trout color. Well, here's the top here. Go ahead and pull one out. So again, it's a very good looking color. It's kind of got like an olive top, and there's a very faint lateral line of pink. And then it goes into that, clear, clear transparent belly. It's got looks like it got a little bit of black flake in it. One thing you'll notice is the size of the tail in comparison to the body. It's pretty small, and I actually kind of like that. When you have too big of a paddle tail, you have a very wide, exaggerated kick, and fish don't swim like that. It's not very natural. So that usually works better in stained water conditions. Maybe in really windy conditions, but in those clear water conditions on calm days, that very subtle kick is gonna be better than a very wide exaggerated kick. So this is a very good finesse looking swim bait, and it's the profile's small enough that you could probably even rig this on a drop shot if you wanted to. And to throw those, we get a pack of Mustad Ultra Point hooks. These are the Power Lock Plus worm hook, and they have a 1 ounce weight and a hook keeper. So that's a pretty cool looking hook keeper. Not sure how well it'll hold the bait, but it'll probably hold it pretty well considering this last little notch or peg here. It's a lot bigger than the ones in front. And the cool thing about these hooks is the belly weight is adjustable, so you can slide it back or slide it forward. And that'll basically just control how your bait sinks and how it tracks in the water. So if you want it a little bit nose down, you can rig it towards the front, or you can slide it back down towards the middle for a more horizontal swim. These are pretty stout hooks and they're pretty sharp, so these will pair pretty well with those Skinny Bear swim baits. The Skinny Bear swim baits, the pack of them retails for $5.99, and the Mustad hooks retail for $4. Next up is the bait that I've never seen before. I don't know if it's new or if it's old, but it's from Z-Man. And the package here says you just got lucky, and apparently only 1,000 people got a bait from either Z-Man, El Grande Lures, or Bass Assassin, and I got one from Z-Man. And this is a Chatter TrickStick in a 5-inch model. This is an interesting looking bait. So it's got like the body of like a minnow style jerk bait. However, it doesn't have a lip. It has a chatter blade in front. So I haven't seen this swim yet, but I can only imagine it has a very erratic action. And you know, given that it has trebles, you can't really fish it like a chatterbait. Like you can't hop it off the bottom. You're just going to pick up a bunch of weeds. But I'm guessing you're just going to swim this above the weeds or around logs, timber, and you just want to make sure that you don't fish in areas where you're going to hang up too much. I mean, you can do that, of course, and you know, higher risk, higher reward. But to try to fish it effectively and not snag it so much, you'll want to fish it close to cover, but not right in the heart of the cover. So you know, swim it over that grass, swim it over that brush. And this is a pretty cool color. It's almost like a kokanee. The top is very dark, and the sides fade to a lighter blue, and then it's just kind of like a silver, almost like a foil finish. It's very flashy, and the belly is just white. Got a little bit of red on the gills. The hardware feels pretty good. I'm usually not a fan of snaps, and this snap is pretty light wire, so I would probably exchange this out for a heavier gauge snap. The split rings look a little weak. They may hold up, but the hooks definitely are good to fish out of package. I've tried to bend them out. They're very stout. They're very sharp. So I would say the hooks are good. I'm just saying that the split rings and the snap in front might be a little questionable. That's a cool looking bait. I'm definitely going to throw this and see what it looks like in the water. And this retails for $4.99. And there's a free bonus item, which is Baitmate Fish Attractant. Man, you'd probably have to use this all at once, or maybe like soak a bag of baits in it, just because it's not resealable. Let's see, the scent is called Classic Bass, and it's made from natural fish oils, fish pheromones, and anise oil. Let's see. Yep, does not hold too much about it, but again, it's a pack. It seems like there's a pretty good amount of scent in here, so you might just want to get like a Ziploc bag and, you know, use this and soak some of your baits up. Alright, well that does it for May's Lucky Tackle Box. I have 2 more coming, so I'll share those with you in the months to come.